Hey everyone, John here from Diode. Today in the garage, we'll be showing you how to install our new plug-and-play SS3 headlight kit like you see here on this 2019 Polaris XP 1000. In addition, if you're interested in any of our other kits for the Polaris XP 1000, check out the video linked in the description below. Let's get started. To begin, we'll start by twisting both latches on the hood and removing it by sliding it towards the front of the vehicle. With the cover removed, we can begin by removing two T40 Torx bolts from the front of the vehicle. Next, we'll move to the sides of the vehicle and remove two T40 Torx bolts from the driver's side and from the passenger side. Moving back in front of the vehicle, we'll need to remove two more additional T40 Torx bolts on the lower portion of the front bumper. On this vehicle, you'll notice there's an aftermarket plate around the winch. We'll be removing this to show you the two T40 Torx bolts hidden underneath that need to be removed. Now we can disconnect the factory headlights by pinching the release tab and pulling back on both the driver and passenger side headlight connectors. Before we can remove the front bumper, we'll need to remove the grille by pulling down on the tabs holding it in place. Then we can reach behind and disconnect the factory daytime running lights on both the left and right side. With all hardware and connectors removed, we can lightly pull the front bumper up and off of the vehicle and set it on a stand or proper padding to continue the installation. With access to the back of the headlight housing, we'll be removing three T20 Torx bolts to remove the housing. With the housing removed, you can now remove the factory springs and set them aside as they will not be reused. Taking our included headlight bracket, we'll align it in place and re-secure it by using the three T20 Torx bolts that we just removed. You can now repeat the same steps on the other side of the vehicle. Now we're ready to assemble our SS3s. Drop the supplied nuts into the slots on the sides of the pod with the nylon ring facing the inside. Then slide the universal bracket over the back of the pod and thread in our 5/32 Allen screws and washers, leaving them hand tight to save room for adjustment later. You can repeat the same steps to assemble all of your pods. With our SS3 pods assembled, we can now secure our SS3 combo pod on the inner portion of the headlight bracket as our high beam by dropping our carriage bolt through the U bracket and our headlight bracket. Then feed on our washer, our lock washer, and nut. Then we can secure our SS3 driving pod on the outside of the bracket as our low beam by repeating the same steps. Now that both pods are mounted in place, we can tighten them down using a 13mm socket. You can now repeat the same steps on the other side of the vehicle. Moving back to the vehicle, we'll need to locate the factory bus bar on the firewall. Taking our included harness, we'll be attaching the ring terminal for our headlight kit's backlight feature. Using a 10mm socket, remove the factory bolt and slide on our ring terminal. Then, you can re-secure it in place by reinstalling the 10mm that we just removed. Now we can take the wire leads and route the longer of the two leads to the driver's side headlight and the shorter lead to the passenger side headlight. With the factory headlight connector in hand, we'll need to remove the retainer on the factory headlamp connector by prying the clip over the lock. Setting the clip aside, we can remove the rubber cavity plug using a pair of needle nose pliers. We won't be reusing this. Taking a closer look at the connector, we'll want to insert the blue backlight wire lead into the empty cavity, assuring the clip is face up. Once inserted, it should lock into place and we can reinstall the factory retainer that we set aside. Now, taking our included headlight harness, we can plug it into our factory headlight connector. They'll both be labeled to distinguish them from passenger and driver side. Before moving forward, we'll need to grab our front bumper with our SS3 headlight kit installed and re-secure it to the vehicle. We're installing two of the factory Torx bolts back in place for the time being at the center of the vehicle. With our bumper secured, we can take our included DT connectors from our headlight harness and plug them in the back of each pod. They'll be labeled high beam for the SS3 combo pod and low beam for the SS3 driving pod. Inside the vehicle, on the driver's side, we'll need to locate the fuse box and remove the cover by decompressing the clips. Inside the fuse box, we'll locate the 7.5 amp lights fuse. Remove it using a fuse pulling tool of your choice. Install the provided 15 amp fuse in place, and then snap our fuse box cover back on. Finally, we can test for function of our kit. With everything operating properly, we can zip tie up any loose wiring away from any hot or moving parts, make any final aiming adjustments, and reinstall any parts by reversing the steps we used to remove them. As you can see, with our SS3 headlight kit installed, not only will you have an aggressive off-road appearance, but you'll now have headlights designed for maximum performance, with the addition of amber accent lights when the main beams aren't in use. If you're looking to pick up an SS3 headlight kit for your vehicle or any of our other products, be sure to visit our website at diodedynamics.com or use our dealer locator tool to find a dealer near you. And if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest products coming to the market, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn those notifications. Thanks for watching.